energy, transport, and telecommunications, that the demerit points system under the Road Traffic Act 2018 and the Road Traffic Regulations 2022 will take effect on 30th September 2026. In the interest of clarity, the judiciary wishes to outline the legal position regarding the application of the demerit points regime and what persons ought to expect when attending court. Road traffic violations are classified as criminal offenses, and therefore criminal practice and procedure applies. The ticket has two functions. First, it allows the penalty to be paid before a specified date. Second, if there is no payment, then the ticket does its second function, namely as a summons telling the person to whom the ticket was issued to appear at a time, place, and date to answer to the offense specified in the ticket. There are two statutes to consider: the Road Traffic Act 1938 and the Road Traffic Act 2018. The 2018 Act did not come into effect until February 1, 2023. This means that all road traffic violations between 2018 and January 31, 2023 were and are being dealt with under the Road Traffic Act 1938. Why is this important? Under Section 59A, subsection 1, it says where any person is convicted of an offense specified in the second schedule, the court before which that person is convicted shall, in addition to any penalty for that offense, order that the demerit points specified in that schedule in relation to the offense be recorded against any license held by that person, and that person shall be disqualified in accordance with subsection 4. This means that all offenses to which demerit points apply will have those points applied under the Road Traffic Act 1938. That is because the statute says so. The judge has no discretion. The law says shall, and shall means shall or must. Under the 1938 Act, once the threshold levels are reached, then the license will be suspended. Why? Because the statute says so. Under Section 98(1) of the Road Traffic Act 2018, where any person is convicted under a provision specified in column 1 of the 6th schedule for offenses specified in column 2 of that schedule, the court before which the person is convicted shall, in addition to any penalty for that offense, order that the demerit points specified in that schedule in relation to that offense be recorded against any driver's license held by that person, and that the record of the order be forwarded to the authority, in this case meaning the Island Traffic Authority, for action to be taken in accordance with Section 32 of the 2018 Act. What is the difference? Under the 1938 Act, the role of the Island Traffic Authority was to certify the points. Under the 2018 Act, the Island Traffic Authority records the points when it receives the order from the court. This is what the statute says. It is important to note that the 2018 Act also preserves important judicial functions. In particular, Section 35 empowers the court to disqualify a person from holding or obtaining a driver's license or permit in prescribed circumstances. In addition, several provisions of the Act require the court to make disqualification orders upon convictions for specified offenses, including upon second or subsequent conviction for reckless or dangerous driving. These provisions have been applied by the courts since they became law. Accordingly, where a person appears before the court and the circumstances require disqualification, the court is obliged to make the appropriate order. This clarification is intended to ensure that members of the public understand that the courts have continued to exercise only those powers expressly conferred by the applicable legislation. The judiciary has consistently applied both the 1938 Act and the 2018 Act in accordance with their respective commencement dates and the legal obligations imposed by the Parliament.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show for yet another Saturday morning. And we're getting right into business this morning because my first guest this morning do have a lot of time. And it's a lot of things out there. And we welcome this morning Sir Fitz Jackson, Shadow Minister of Security. I'm getting a feedback, Fitz. I don't know why it's coming back. Coming right back at me. Hold on. All right. I don't think you can do anything. All right. So Fitz, morning.
They put a sir before my name, you know, because of what the sir is attached.
Wait, you're not taking any nine from the English people.
No.
Before we get started, let me play what is in the news as it relates to Portmore and the boundaries.
Municipality as political representative. Disagreements have surfaced over the proposed electoral boundaries for Portmore following Parliament's approval of the municipality as Jamaica's 15th parish. The concerns were raised during a second stakeholder consultation hosted by government officials on Thursday. Political representatives and community leaders met to review the proposed electoral divisions that will shape representation in the new parish. South St. Catherine MP Fitz Jackson says the process should comply with the Constitution. He notes that before the first consultation, he urged the Electoral Office of Jamaica to seek legal guidance, but says that question remains unanswered.
But I think they're running into a roadblock because the Boundaries Committee of Parliament, which is controlled by the government with its majority, has mandated the EOJ to make changes to comply with what the court has ordered. Unfortunately, what we are seeing is that the EOJ is asked to prescribe constituency boundary in a parish that does not exist. The parish of Portmore does not exist.
South St. Catherine MP Fitz Jackson, Middle Member of Parliament Dr. Dawes, says he will limit his participation in the process, arguing that there has been no meaningful consultation with residents or elected representatives.
Kangaroo Committee, as much as you'd hear about a kangaroo court, they have already decided that they're going to form a Portmore parish, and it is based on gerrymandering. Last time I checked, voters chose who their elected representatives were. I never see anywhere where elected representatives choose who their voters are. And this is what has happened. So I'm not going to co-sign to anything because they can say it was passed by both houses of parliament. I know they're going to say that they have consultations with the members of parliament and the elected officials in Portmore. That's nonsense.
MP, tell us what is going on with this Portmore becoming a parish.
Conveyed in the clip that you just ran with both Dr. Dawes and myself, those points stand. But just for further elaboration, the country will be aware that from the very outset, the People's National Party and the parliamentary opposition posited our objection to what was being pursued from the very beginning, over 2 or 3 years ago, when the committee was set up in Parliament to pursue it. Well, the committee was stacked with government members, And so we knew what the outcome of the Committee of Parliament deliberation would be before the start to approve the creation of a parish of Portmore. When the bill that was subsequently tabled came for debate, the point was made that what we are seeing is a classical case of gerrymandering. And what is the basis of making that claim? Over 45 years ago, 1979, 1980, there was a level of political maturity that prevailed at the time between the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party, then led by Edward Seaga of the JLP and Michael Manley of the PNP, to remove all electoral matters from the unilateral control of the incumbent government. The incumbent government usually appoint the director of election, prescribe everything, determine boundaries of constituencies, etc. And we knew the tension and violence that subsequently occurred out of that arrangement. And to shift all electoral matters to a newly created Electoral Advisory Committee at the time, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, where neutral or independent members constitute the majority, and both sides nominate two to interact with this body as it relates to the electoral functions. Since 1980, no election in Jamaica, local government or parliamentary election, have had a result where either the losing party refused to accept the outcome on the basis of how it was conducted. That's the kind of stability we had as it relates to electoral matter and political violence over 45 years. This Andrew Holness administration set out to rip that apart and to go back to the days where the incumbent government determined electoral boundaries, parliamentary boundaries, divisional boundaries, and, well, those are there for now. And we have staunchly objected to that. How is it that the JLP government sought to circumvent the EOJ? By using their parliamentary majority to establish a parish with boundaries that they unilaterally determine. Prior to and customarily, the boundaries are determined with the input of both sides. In 2011, we had new constituency boundaries. In 1990, there was another one because I had about 3 boundary changes in my own constituency during my tenure because of population shifts that required adjustment in boundary. That was non-contentious because both sides participated and the independent members mediated it, and we had a settlement. This time around, the government said, no, the parish boundary will be so. And what has happened? In their haste and power drunkenness, they have established boundaries for this new parish of Portmore, for which the people of Portmore never participated in making that determination. As Dr. Dawes pointed out rightfully in the clips, no consultation was done with the stakeholders in Portmore on it. So they set out and draw this boundary to give them a political advantage. This is what gerrymandering is.
Well,
and Warmington,
yes,
Warmington publicly said it. It's recorded. It can't be disputed. They drew the boundary to create a garrison in Portmore for themselves. 1, and 2, to seek to control the St. Catherine Parish Council. So you don't have to go by what I say. Warmington said it explicitly.
MP, the government is hell-bent on bringing Portmore to a parish. What would you want to see done, or how you want it?
Well, my position, the party's position has been, from the outset, the Portmore municipality, as it is now, was never the creation of the People's National Party government in 2003. The Portmore municipality, in its structure, in its operation, was the design of the leadership and community members throughout Portmore after over 8 years of consultation amongst themselves and government entities. All the People's National Party did was to, one, listen to the people and facilitated what they wanted from their wisdom into what we have. That said, any tinkering with, any changes to what is there, which is the people's creation, they must go back to the people in a fulsome, meaningful consultation, and whatever comes out of that exercise, the PNP fully embraces it.
Are you referring to a vote by the people of Portmore?
Yes. I go further as you ask that question. In what prevails now, during the beginning period, the people of Portmore, through their citizens association leadership across the municipality, demanded and got that any change in the boundary, any change to the boundaries that it started out with, because what was done for the first go was to draw a line around all the existing communities to the west, acknowledging that they would want more lands for the expansion of Portmore, so it will come more to the west. But they said they didn't want the political parties, either PNP or GLP, to determine what those boundaries would be. And what was the fix for that? In the municipal charter, in law, any proposed boundary would require at least 1/7 of the voters in the existing Portmore, or the first established boundary for Portmore, to give a yes or no vote.
That is written in the municipal charter?
That is what prevails now. I point that out to say they from the beginning never wanted the political parties to determine what any change of boundary would be by themselves. They must consent, and at least 1/7 of the registered voters, at least, not limited to, but at least 1/7 of the registered voters in Portmore must vote yes or no to what those proposed boundaries are. You couldn't want a more explicit expression and demand for democracy in the determining of those political boundaries.
But how do you now get the government to accede to that?
Well, the government, what I've said just now is already known to the government. It has been pointed out to them. But when people have an evil, unfair, and corrupt intention, reason has no place.
And that's why I'm asking the question, how you are going to get them now to accept that and move in that direction?
Come out and demonstrate their objection. They have to come out and say, you cannot do to us what you want to do without our participation. To some extent, that was done prior to the local government election in 2024. We, the PNP, did organize and mobilize protests where we got tremendous support from the public to express our displeasure in that. What the government did then, in response to that demonstrated objection, was to suspend the pursuit. So you will recall that in the 2024 election, nothing happened. The status quo remained. After the general election last year, they have now resumed to pick up back where they were, and hence all of what is taking place. Now, where we are now is that having used the parliamentary majority to pass the bill in the lower house and in the Senate, and then sent it on to the GG for assent, and also have it gazetted. The PNP intervened through the court case that we commenced, because we indicated at the very beginning too, as did the EOJ advise the government, that the boundaries that they were proposing would be in contravention of the Constitution. And that is in writing. The EOJ, the ECJ,
Yes, I remember that,
wrote the minister and point that out. And to show you how corrupt and ill intent and dishonest the government was, they went ahead and ignored what the ECJ said, that it was breached the Constitution. They were seeking to bring it into law in breach of the Constitution. If it wasn't for our court intervention, the minister would have signed it into law. Well, we intervened, the court said, no. You can't proceed. And that is where the injunction came in. And they are now trying to fix that. And as I said in the clip, the problem that they have, they can't fix it with the boundaries, with the gerrymandered boundaries that they are proposing.
What if the government proposed to make Portmore a parish with the boundaries of the existing constituencies? Would that be acceptable?
It would not be acceptable because it does not get, legally, it could work. But morally, it would not work because it is not what the people express that they want. So yes, if they were to set the boundary in keeping with the constituency, the boundary for the proposed parish would be in keeping with the existing constituency boundaries. It would be compliant with the Constitution, but it would not fulfill their gerrymandering objective. Because really what they're doing, in short, Collie, they run a boundary to cut out all the PNP areas of two constituencies. One of them being mine, Quarry Hill, and Lakespen and Lime Tree in East Central St. Catherine, so that East Central St. Catherine will be devoid of that strong PNP base and create a strong GLP support base, mainly because of Gregory Park. And Warmington said it publicly.
Yes,
that
he did.
was their goal. So if they accede to what is constitutionally okay, it would defeat their political gerrymandering objective. So they are reluctant to do that. But that's the only safe route they can go. But bear in mind too, that the ELJ has pointed out in both meetings that any new constituency boundary can't come in effect until the next general election, parliamentary election. Right? So the status quo will have to remain anyway.
So does that mean the parish, it couldn't be declared a parish before the next general election?
Correct. Not on the basis of the boundaries that they have, unless they are willing now and prepared to modify the boundaries that they have in the bill to be compliant with the existing constituency boundaries.
But if they do that, would you still want the people of Portmore to do that yes/no vote to determine?
That has been well, to establish the parish.
Yes.
Right? You need to have the consent of the people. And the boundaries that would constitute that parish, the people should participate in it too. We're unrelenting on that position.
So even if they plan to use the existing boundary and don't go to the people, you'd still have objections to that process.
Indeed. And the objection would be on the basis of our conviction that where you're making political changes, the people must be consulted.
Fair enough.
And we're unrepentant on that.
If you're just joining us, we're live on Portland Spice TV. We're talking to MP Fitz Jackson and the Shadow Minister of Security, and he also has responsibility on the PNP behalf for Portmore and what the government is planning to do to declare Portmore the 15th parish of Jamaica. MP Jackson, as Shadow Minister on National Security, I could not be here this morning and don't talk to you about the TCN.
Sure, I'll come to that, but permit me to just make one point about this whole parish thing as against the municipality. Colin, what the people of Portmore sought to create and created in 2003 is really the opposite of what exists in the Kingston, in the corporate area.
Mhm.
In Kingston and St. Andrew, you have one municipality serving two parishes because of the configuration of the population between both parishes. One municipality for two parishes. What was done in Portmore is two municipalities in one parish. So there's nothing odd as to what we had in what we have in Portmore. What the government is seeking to do is solely to create a political advantage for themselves. Because bear in mind, the people of Portmore at no point said that they don't want to remain a part of the parish of St. Catherine, All they said is that we want our own municipal authority to administer to those municipal issues by ourselves. That's all they said. But, to show you, and this really cut me deep, Colin, the hypocrisy of this government. They went to Negril and proposed in a separate municipality over there. They went to somewhere else and floating all these multi-municipality. Are they going to create separate parishes where they're proposing these municipality for Negril? Is it a new parish down there too? No. So why is it there's a problem with a municipality in St. Catherine to deal with that geographic space called Portmore in St. Catherine?
Creating political strength.
It is inconsistent and it is only for political convenience. Colin, in 2026, my God, after all the struggles we have had from slavery to independence, why are we locked in this kind of colonial mentality of carving out political spaces for one side or the other? By the way, the act that the government is using to create the parish in Portmore is an 1867 act that was used to create parishes for the plantation owners.
Wow. Going back to slavery.
Back to slavery, because the parish and counties, Boundaries Act, was used to divide up the country for the different people who own different parishes. It wasn't about governance. It was subsequent to that a local government system was overlaid on the parish. And that's the reason why they're having a problem now. Because the 1867 legislation, which they are using, 1867 legislation, was before independence in 1962.
Yeah.
And the Constitution.
Before universal adult suffrage.
Before universal adult suffrage. So the problem they're having is that the Constitution in 1968, right, made no reference to the 1867 Act when they never have a parliamentary system as we have.
So is it then that we need to put in a new act to deal with parishes as we go?
We need to abandon that. This is irrelevant, outmoded, of no purpose.
But what is the interest of bringing in a 15th parish?
Simple. Two reasons. One I stated earlier on, to set new boundaries for East Central St. Catherine. That's one. And two,
that's your constituency.
No, that's the one that Minister Terry Long is now the MP of.
Oh, that is the one they want to strengthen.
That's the one they want to strengthen. They will cut off part of mine too, but they can't see that. I don't want to sound boastful, but my one is unshakable. So no matter how they cut mine, cut it, slice it, dice it, it won't affect the outcome. Right? But it would cut out a strong PNP era from my constituency too. Right? Which is Quarry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And Garbally community. Garbally is relatively small compared to Quarry Hill. Right? So you cut those two constituencies. But the second goal is to take the Portmore councillors out of the St. Catherine municipality.
Oh, yes. so that they can
Because
control the St. Catherine municipality.
so that they can control.
Yeah,
the
that was
St.
one of the things that Warmington said, that when this
Yes.
cut is complete, the GLP will never lose the St. Catherine municipality again, the St. Catherine Parish Council.
Well, yes, but to see how short-sighted and narrow their thinking is, the truth is, the PNP has lost control of the St. Catherine Parish Council under the same configuration.
Yes, yeah.
In 2007, right? We lost control.
Dr. Wheatley was mayor.
That's when Dr. Wheatley was mayor. And he was from Portmore, but he was the mayor of Spanish Town. So it's really narrow. But you know, as I said, when people have dishonest intent, they are blind to facts and reason. So the fact is that they can win it. They can win St. Catherine as they have before. But that will mean some work. But people who are thieves and dishonest, they don't like to work.
No.
So whichever way to just get what you want is the preferred route for them. So if they can just use the parliamentary majority and give themselves what they want, they have opted for that. So sorry to detain you, and wanted to talk about TCN.
Yes, of course. You are the shadow minister of national.
Yes, our position on the TCN has been made clear. But both myself and a number of my colleagues, the party leader himself, Mark Golden, our human rights spokesperson, Isaac Buchanan, and others who have spoken. Our position is clear. The government is being called upon by the United States to participate in this agreement, and the information pertaining to it is nebulous, to say the least. But in addition to that, what we have heard from public pronouncements from the U.S. government give us reason not to want to participate if those are the intent. Now, there's an MOU that was signed between the government and the U.S. in respect to what this TCN agreement will provide for. And the government has decided to keep it secret. On behalf of the opposition, I asked the minister in parliament if he would table the MOU that they have signed the week before. Not just for us parliamentarians, not just for us opposition members, but the country at large, to be clear and be factually advised into what arrangements the country is entering into. And the minister has refused. He said no, he will not table it, he will not make it public. So our question, what is it in it that you're hiding?
I want to address that, MP Jackson, but there's a critical video that is in the public space that we need the government to address, but I'm going to play it for you and ask you to address this.
Actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country.
MP Jackson, based on that video, that is not AI, that is the Secretary of State of the United States of America. What you make of that video?
Colin, even if you're dumb, blind, and deaf, you could understand all that was said in that video.
Exactly.
That doesn't need any interpretation.
No.
Would I want those people in Jamaica? No. Would I enter into an arrangement to take such persons? No. Straight no. It's not something to think about. If one would agree to do that, then you'll be a traitor to your own country. If I was in government, meaning the executive, and agreed to something like that, the people should remove me from office if I fail to remove myself. That would be one of the most treacherous action of any government. And you said you asking me to answer on behalf and
No, we need the government to address it, but we want to hear your views on it as well. Sorry.
That arrangement is not something that countenance the attention of any legitimate government. But let us start somewhere. Okay, that was said. You sign an MOU. Let us see what you signed to. Colin. When a government signs an agreement on behalf of the country, it is just that on behalf of every one of us.
Yes.
Not your own private business or your private household. It is not your private business. It is not your exclusive business. You have a duty to tell us what you are committing us to.
Agree.
And the question that I invite you and other Jamaicans to ask the government, why are you keeping it secret? Why? What is it that you're hiding? Simple as that.
But MP Jackson, the opposition leader said that if America, which is one of our trading partners and our friends and a country that has assisted us, he would really reject it if he was prime minister. What do you say about that?
No. That's not what I understood the party leader to have said. He said if the US as a partner and a friend come to Jamaica and ask us for assistance, we would not be unwilling to assist them. Now, to assist them in what?
Yeah.
And on what terms? We go into agreements in bilateral arrangements from time to time on various subjects and various matters and particular terms and conditions. So yes, America has been and still remain our friend, and friend assists friend. But if you are my friend Colin and you invite me to be complicit in carrying out a robbery or a murder, I'm not going to agree with you. That don't mean that we're not friends. And that don't mean that I am unwilling to cooperate with you as my friend on other matters, but not in respect of that particular act that I don't subscribe to. So it all depends on what is it and what the terms that you are inviting me to assist you in.
The government said that we're not taking any criminals and they are just coming for a short period of time. My question to you is, how does the government know if these people had criminal conviction in their country of origin?
Colin, to start with, I don't believe anything the government said to us on this matter.
What?
Let us start there. I don't.
What?
I do not believe anything the government tells me on this matter.
But you're a part of the government, Fitzjackson.
No, you have different layers of government. I'm part of the legislature. I'm not part of the executive.
Right.
Nobody can mix me up in that. Right? Right? I'm not a part of the executive. For us to accept anything from the government, we have to see it in writing on this matter. Simple. We cannot take the word of the government. And there are reasons why we can't take the word of the government on this matter. Number one, these are non-American citizens and these are non-Jamaican citizens. We ask a simple question. If they are going to be transiting to another country, why not send them straight to where they are going to be transit? Because they are domiciled somewhere now.
Yes.
They're domiciled in the US. Why not transit them straight to where you're going to put them? Why you need to hold them in Jamaica? That's number one. Number two, if you take them in Jamaica from where they are in the US and bring them here, and the country that wish to take them refuse to take them, who is responsible for them thereafter? But you can circumvent that by just sending them to where they're going to ultimately go. So the second question does not arise. They cannot tell us what is the arrangements made in respect of persons who are here and can't go elsewhere. We get stuck with them, even if they're not criminals. And if they want to apply for citizenship in Jamaica or asylum, make the application from where they are like others do, and we process it and use our internal processing, and we give them asylum. We give them asylum as we do for anybody else.
Let me ask you a
But
straight question.
Are these persons being forced to come here? Are they volunteering to come here?
Let me ask you a straight question, Fitzjackson. Had the PNP been government and the US approach us to take some of these people, what would we do?
We'll do exactly what I just told you. Exactly what I just told you.
Repeat for me.
If they approached us, we'll have answers to these questions that I just asked. Why not send them onwards from there? And if you can't successfully answer that, then we tell you that we can't take them. If we're going to take them, and you can't give us an agreement that if after 2 weeks they can't go on to elsewhere, you take them back. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because if they can't go to a third country, right? Or a fourth country, and you are not going to take them back, then they are stuck here.
Yes.
And that would not be part of the deal. So if they can't go to the third country, then they have to go back to where they're coming from. What is so unreasonable about that?
Would you have brought this to the parliament had you been in government before signing off on it?
Indeed. It's the thing about it, this is not a question of like some security issue. Security issues, you can't really discuss many of them in public for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Because you can tip off who is it that you're after or seeking to get. Right? So,
this is not a security matter involving Jamaica.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not something where Jamaica is at risk to or open to or being affected by. We are not. We're not being affected in any way at all. Right? So, because it's not a security matter, it's the reason why we put it to the public.
What are your views on why the government is doing this, Fitzjackson? Because that's a question that a lot of us are asking. Before your response, there's also the argument that it was a senior government official, and Harry Marks has been named, Ambassador Marks have been named as the person who initiated this. Why you think we're getting into this?
Well, somebody is not telling the truth. Well, I've heard the term conflated or conflation introduced by the Minister of Information. But I think the conflation comes from that side. Because when the whole thing about the TCN came to public light, about the 10,000 persons to come to Jamaica, then we heard from the government side, and then we heard that it was Minister Harry Marks as initiated. They said, no. She had only talked about 10,000 skilled workers to come to Jamaica. Trying to diffuse the 10,000 persons through the TCN coming here. So it is skilled persons in the US that we would seek to accommodate here. But, Colin, if you're not living on a rock, we knew from over a year ago that the US want to remove certain immigrants out of the US. If they are going to remove people out of the US who are skilled, it must be the TCN people that they're talking about. Because everybody in the US are there because they choose to be there. Nobody put a gun to them that I'm aware of and force people to go to the US. People go there voluntarily and for clear reasons in pursuit of a better life. Right? So to introduce the idea of taking in skilled, undocumented workers from the US, the US is going to send the ones that they want to get rid of fastest.
But they're not
That's what
sending
we're gonna
Americans.
get.
They're not sending Americans. All we know these people are skilled.
Hold on. They're not sending any brain surgeon. They're not sending any nurses for our hospital. They're not sending our teachers for our school system, as we have to remove the Cuban health professionals out of our system. Those are not replacements that we're getting. But at the tape that you run said it earlier on, they're undesirables.
But help me with this question, Fitzjackson. Can we get the antecedent of these people from their country of origin?
That question need to be directed at the right place. The government who is having the discussion with them. We are not having any discussion with anybody about these people. We're only asking questions. The only person who have the authority to provide answers is the government. The legitimate government of the country. But to come back to the point I raised earlier on, why the secret? Why? Just answer that. If you can't answer that, we can't go any further, Colin. Otherwise, we'll be speculating.
Will we get a definitive position from the opposition? Had you been in government, would you take them, yes or no?
I answered you a moment ago, and I repeat my answer here. For us to entertain any request made, we have to get the full facts, such as some of them you asked, the antecedents of the people, right? Why would they be coming here temporarily? What happens if they come temporarily and they can't remove after the 2-week period, as Mr. Chan mentioned, what will provide? Those are questions that we have to have answers to before we can consider entering into an agreement. You ask questions and get answers as a prelude to a decision, not after a decision. So don't ask me if I would decide to take them and then ask those questions after. That's putting the cart before the horse.
The government has already signed the MOU, Fitzjackson. And therefore, we are looking to see these people coming to Jamaica.
No, I am not looking to see them come to.
Will they be a strain on our health sector? Will they be a concern to police? Because as I am asking, the antecedent of these people from their country of origin will not be known. So will there be a burden to the Jamaican taxpayers?
Well, the minister said that the costs related to the exercise will be borne by the U.S. But as I said, I don't believe much of what they say about it. So don't be mindful of that, right? I asked the minister in Parliament if these persons will be detained in any of our security facilities, mainly our prisons. He said, no, they will not be detained, and they are not detainees. But I understand them not being detainees, meaning that, well, he said it, they'll be free to roam all over the place.
Mm.
Now, who are these people that is going to be roaming all over the place? I don't know. But from what I heard from the Secretary of State, they will be despicable pedophiles and rapists. That's what he said that he wants us to take. I didn't say that, you know.
But nobody asked the government these questions, Fitzjackson. Will the opposition be putting some of these questions in the Parliament to the government?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
The one about Rubio, the video I played with Rubio a while ago, I hear Lambert Brown mention it in the Senate and he was shut down. Will we get an answer? Can we depend on the opposition to put this to the government? Because this video must be addressed, you know, Fitzjackson.
But Colin
must be addressed.
Colin, it is the practice of this government not to answer questions that are not favorable to them. Don't fool ourselves. It's academic to ask the question. Senator Lambert Brown, a People's National Party senator, posed those questions on behalf of the opposition. We speak in many forums. When he spoke, it was not speech as Lambert Brown, private citizen. It was Lambert Brown, PNP opposition senator, asking a pertinent question on behalf of the opposition and the people of Jamaica. So the question is out there on the table in the parliament.
We need them to
And
address it,
no-
Fitzjackson.
But Colin, those questions were not asked by Lambert Brown alone. Many stakeholder groups have asked those same questions. You have asked those questions. So it's not that the questions are unknown. The questions are known, but the government is refusing to answer. Let us not attach any mystery to all of this, Colin. Please don't. They know what they're doing.
What will the PNP do about this? The opposition. What will the opposition be doing about
We
it?
will continue to add our voices in opposition as I am doing here now. I am not speaking to you exclusively as Fitzjackson, private citizen. I am speaking to you as a member of parliament for South St. Catherine and the opposition spokesperson of the People's National Party. My questions and concerns are on behalf of the People's National Party. We have been saying this from it came the same day it came to public knowledge. We have raised it in the parliament. We have raised it on other platforms such as this and other. And we will continue to do that. And we go further. We encourage the citizens because you know what, Colin? Ultimately, power doesn't lie in the JLP or the PNP. Power ultimately lies with the people. Any power we have is power we get from the people. So,
Definitely.
for example, the protest that was in Crossroads a couple of weeks ago, we supported it.
Yes.
We supported the stakeholders adding their voices because it coincided with our position too. We have the similar concerns. And we will continue to give support to each and every individual or groups in this country whose position our aligns with ours or ours align with them. Because it's one Jamaica and there is an overall Jamaican interest to serve and to protect. And we will collaborate with any and everybody in respect of anything that is in Jamaica's interest. We collaborate with the JLP government on some matters that we believe is in the interest of Jamaica. We do, even though we're political adversaries. But once it is in Jamaica's interest, we'll join force with you.
Finally,
Jamaica comes first.
The Integrity Commission report was tabled in the parliament. But let's go to Dr. Wheatley. What are your position on Dr. Wheatley remaining? And I just ask you for 3 minutes more. Dr. Wheatley remaining in the cabinet.
But the People's National Party position has been clear from the outset, right? In our jurisprudence, someone is innocent until proven guilty, right? We have a formal investigative entity or entities in place that carry out investigations on behalf of the state, not on behalf of the PNP or on behalf of the government, on behalf of the state. And our practice and our convention is that when a public servant finds him or herself in an egregious position that questions the integrity of the entity that they operate in, if they're accused, that they step aside until the matter that they are accused of is resolved. It is not a pronouncement of guilt or innocence. The PNP is not saying that Dr. Wheatley is guilty of what he is accused of. All we're saying, let the convention prevail. If you was in a ministry or in a public entity where an employee is deemed to have been involved in some criminal activity, fraud, dishonesty, and anything like that, we ask the persons either put on interdiction, or the person will voluntarily step aside out of that line of duty to preserve the office and the integrity of the office. And that's all we're saying.
But what do you say to those of us who are saying that the Prime Minister is under the same kind of accusation? He's not stepping down, so why should Dr. Wheatley be stepped down?
Well, he should too. He should too.
My final question, Fitzjackson. Matthew Samuda is saying that parliamentarians is suggesting that parliamentarians submit their statutory filing to the FID instead of the Integrity Commission. What are your views on what Matthew Samantha is proposing?
My answer, total rubbish, period. Let's move on.
Total rubbish.
Yes, rubbish. Let's move on. What's the purpose of setting up the IC was set up on the IC was passed into law under the JP government for that purpose that was explicitly stated. And the government boasts about the IC being one of their accomplishments.
Well, if you said chopper bush and it catch pig, if you said chopper bush and it catch pig, you're happy, but when it catch you, you're be very upset.
You see why it don't worry up in the discussion or debate. But it's a bit unfortunate because what I see has been ignored to a great extent. And one of the complaints I have about mainstream media is it has a duty to the country. The IC was brought into law. The work of it started with the PNP prior to 2016. The renewed legislation was completed with the JLP government and brought into law in 2017 under the current leadership or prime ministership of the current prime minister. The lawmaking process, Colin, is that when a bill comes to Parliament, it comes to Parliament after it has been reviewed by the Attorney General's chamber to ensure that the proposed legislation is not in breach of the Constitution. So it has gone through that test before for compliance with the Constitution. The government took the advice of the Attorney General's chamber and brought it into law. The very law that they brought into being. The Prime Minister go to court and say to the court, this law that I brought into force as Prime Minister is unconstitutional.
That's the law of illicit enrichment.
Yes. No, that is serious because he brought into place a legislation that he told the country is compliant with the Constitution as it relates to everybody. But once that law that was once deemed constitutional is going to affect him, he said it's unconstitutional.
And he wants the court to so rule.
And he wants the court. No, that is serious.
My final question to you, Fitzjackson, because I know I have to let you go now. The Prime Minister said he wouldn't sit in the Parliament with Richard Hassan, who basically, in most of us' view, did nothing wrong. Why is the PNP sitting there with the Prime Minister, with Xavier Main, and now with Dr. Andrew Wheatley, and seems to be very comfortable?
But before you even go to that point about done nothing wrong, right? The contractor general, as I recall at the time, said that it was in breach of certain process. But
yes,
materially, what then Minister of State Richard Hassan did that would be deemed out of procedure was nothing for which he would be beneficiary. It was to help some poor people to have stalls to sell them goods and wares and make a living.
Come out of the sun, out of the rain.
Yes, that's what that breach was about. The process to empower some ordinary poor Jamaican people who want to make a better life. In the case of these, the ones that you mentioned of, it was in regard to things for which they are beneficiaries. Isn't it a distinct difference? And Mr. Oldness was not prepared to sit in Parliament with somebody who breached procedure, right? To help some poor people. But he has no problem in sitting in having in his cabinet someone who is guilty of breaches for which they are the beneficiaries.
But the question, MP Fitzjackson, is why is the opposition so comfortable with them? Why are we
So
not
who
seeing
tell you
that
that?
stridency the way Andrew Wellness came out when he was opposition leader? He was strident again, Richard Azan. We
Colin,
are not of the
Colin,
opinion that we are seeing
Colin,
that stridency from the
Colin,
opposition.
Colin, we are
Yes, sir.
strident and different. Don't ask us to be like the JLP. We are
No,
not like
definitely not.
Well,
I
don't
wouldn't
tell me
want you to
about
be
you.
like
We are
them.
not like them.
No.
No, I know you never meant it, but I have to hold you to court on that one.
No,
You
but the
don't
way
see
they
us
were,
to be like them. We
but
don't
we
wish to be like the Jamaica Labour
but
Party.
we expect our opposition to hold the government accountable and not
We are
seek to be
holding them
comfortable with
accountable
them.
in a different way. We remain committed to it. Only time will tell. Timing is everything.
God
Method
on time,
is
Fitzjackson.
also time longer than rope.
Thank you for the time. Anything you want to say finally before you leave?
I want to say to my fellow Jamaicans and supporters of Jamaica, we are in some challenging times. A lot of things are happening that ought not to happen. I don't want our people to lose faith, but I'm inviting our people to stand up and defend what is in their interest, what are their rights. As one of my favorite artists, Peter Tosh, always said, get up, stand up, fight for the right. You will
Yes.
never have peace if there is no justice. Remember that.
Blessings.
You will never have peace unless there is justice. Let us have justice prevail, and then we will have peace.
Thank you, Fitzjackson. One love.
My pleasure, my brother.
MP and the shadow spokesman on national security. Fitzjackson with us this morning. Blessings.
Actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country.
There will never be any peace until Jah is seated at the conference table.
Government Minister Matthew Samuda has questioned whether the Financial Investigations Division, FID, should be given the mandate to examine the statutory declarations of members of Parliament instead of the Integrity Commission. He has asserted that the FID has the capacity to examine the statutory declarations of parliamentarians. Mr. Samuda, a member of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee, has also proposed that research should be done or material made available on the appropriateness of the Oversight Committee supervising a body that has oversight for the parliamentarians who make up the committee. At yesterday's sitting of the Oversight Committee, he cited the animosity between some parliamentarians and the Integrity Commission to further strengthen his argument for this proposal to be seriously considered.
It's a odd arrangement, certainly feels that way to me, and that has given rise, I think, to members on both sides not wanting to serve on this particular committee. That has given rise to comments made in the past of fear of victimization, whether real or imagined. And I think any research that exists on, or any context that exists, or any best practices in other jurisdictions would be useful for this committee to contemplate. Similarly, should we be declaring to the FID, which has the capacity to examine as they do fit and proper for persons in the financial industry or for attorneys. It's a thought, and I think it is worthy of examination here for a recommendation to go whether to continue as is, to strengthen, to totally change.
Member of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee, Matthew Samuda.
So they send their friend Dennis Chung for head the FID. And now they want to send their statutory filing to him. What a kasa karatatala tala. Hey boy. Yes, labor rights, you know got it going on. Of course. You can't control the Integrity Commission. So our friend Dennis Chung is at FID. So you know what? Send the thing up a FID. We're going to be joined by Ralston Iman shortly. So let me take a few of your calls until such time. Me see a man in the chat room. I've been glimpsing him while I've been talking to Fitzjack. So hold on, caller. And him said me are the worst blogger. You're damn right. I am not a blogger. So if you classify me as a blogger, I will be the worst. Because I am not a blogger, nor a vlogger, nor a dogger. I am a broadcaster. Get that in your head. Caller, good evening and good morning and welcome to the Colin Bell Show on Portland Spice TV. If you don't like up the video, give the video a like. Give the video a like. Go ahead, caller.
Morning, Colin. Morning.
Yes.
To you and your listeners.
Blessings.
You know, I listened to you and the Ralston a couple of times from the other day.
Yes.
And you all spoke about the money that the government took from the FSC. That's like, I think it was 500 million or something to that.
Correct.
Yes. And that it would affect insurance, but motor vehicle, other
motor
insurance.
vehicle life insurance.
Well, I am here this morning to tell you
yes
that you guys are 100% correct.
Hello. Why you say so?
Let me tell you, I bought a vehicle in 2024. I paid 100,000 to insure it. 2025, I went back, renewed the insurance. I paid 80,000.
Okay, you don't have no claims, so the insurance go down as it
no
ought to.
Claims.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, Wednesday of this week, I went back to renew the insurance, and it's $104,750.
So what happened is the increase caused by the government taking that $500 million from the FSC. That hit you.
There you go.
So $20,000 year would go on by.
When I spoke about it, when I asked them first, they said, "You didn't know insurance increase."
Oh, yes.
I said, "I didn't know."
Yeah.
And when I spoke to some of my friends, they said, "Yeah, it catch me too."
It will catch all away.
So this government is just killing us slowly. I mean, if you have to be digging deeper in your pocket to buy food,
yes,
to pay insurance,
to buy diesel or gasoline,
then what do I have next? The salary can't sustain that. So sooner or later we all perish.
Let me say morning to the people listening on Mastercat Radio at Zeno FM. Big up on yourself. The views expressed here are not those of the station owners of Mastercat Radio, but solely those of the hosts and our callers. Continue, caller.
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness, man. We have to do something about it. And for those non-nationals, the TCNs. I can't see how we refused an offer from England, and it was led by no other than no Prime Minister, then opposition leader, against the proposal. And that proposal was to take back our nationals to complete their sentence. But no, we are going to take people who we know nothing of.
Let me tell you something. And these are the truth. These are the truth, Prime Minister Andrew Holness. You are what a hypocrite is. When the British, when which one of the Prime Minister did come here and offer to build us a prison and say would I take back some Jamaicans where up there serve time, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was vociferous against it. And now you're taking people when they come from here, deportees, Prime Minister, and then you tell the lady at Ope about they are not deportee in the real sense. What rubbish? What is that?
But no, Colin. The prisons here, they are both run down and need
No, but them now.
serious repairs, you know.
But the deportee them where come now go prison do you know? Them now go jail.
I know, but
Yeah,
what I am saying here, we would stand to benefit from a brand new prison where we could probably then move some of these prisoners from the St. Catherine District Prison, have some repairs done there, bring them
Listen,
back.
we need
do
a
the
prison.
same for Gun Court and repair these prisons there. These prisons run down.
Listen,
badly enough.
we need a new prison right now in Jamaica. Need.
Okay.
You understand?
That's my point.
And
You know?
really and truly, it was, I think, who was Prime Minister when it happened? Portia Simpson Miller. I thought we should have taken that.
Portia.
We should have taken the prison. The amount of money where England owe we, anything we can get from them, we should have take it.
Thank you very much.
You understand? But Andrew Holness was one of the reasons why Portia could even take it, because she dung in a Portia back like a pitchery. And now they must deal with education.
But this administration have absolutely no love for the people of this country.
Brother,
absolutely no love for the country, the people of this country. You know? And it is time for, especially those persons who continue to stay away from the poll by not voting. I hope they are really and seriously looking into what is happening in this country under this administration, you know.
Brother, but you have some people out there, you know. I said the government is doing well. You see a man send me a list of things, and he mentioned in the list of things where the government had the school bus. School bus, $1.4 billion for 110 free bus. Bus where I give a free dollar for them all them something there.
Every time I argue this point with people on the road, I just point out this to them. Tell me which government previously bought all vehicles bring to our country. That shows that we are going backwards.
Listen, the old vehicle is one, you know. The old vehicle is one, but it's where them pay for them. It's what we paid for it.
But I recall, listen, I usually work with the government, you know. I spent 5 months less than 35 years in the field of national security, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I tell you, we never get an old vehicle. Every vehicle is plastic we took off the seat. Plastic.
Yeah, man, until Bobby Man take you come. That. Until Bobby Man take you forward, come by use car for police. But give thanks, caller.
Yes, man, take care.
Blessings. Genius.
Yeah, that's a calling.
Morning, professor.
Morning.
Teacher. Genius. Top financial analyst. I wonder if they Google your name and see what Google says about you. Eh? Whenever Google answer my name and see what Google says about the man. Don't go here, man. Rally morning and welcome. What go on this week, you know, give us an update of the week that was.
Well, I hold parking. Bank of Jamaica said they lose 9.2 billion between January and June. Bank of Jamaica said people are borrowing less from credit unions. Bank of Jamaica said people are borrowing less from banks. Bank of Jamaica now says that banks must treat consumer complaint as the board issue, and that they will propose fines of $7.5 million for banks who not behave themselves. Bank of Jamaica says every complaint must be settled within 45 days. So those are the main things. Bank of Jamaica was a trying to map up liquidity. They wanted, $10 billion, them get $26 billion. So all those things are consistent with the recession. The monetary Bank of Jamaica said the monetary base shrink, the amount of money in circulation shrink. Again, that is consistent with the whole thing about that recession.
Money shrink by what, 7.8 billion?
Yeah, man.
So the screws are being tightened.
Yeah, man.
On the people of Jamaica.
Yeah, man. And that is consistent with the employment numbers. The people are losing work. The people are losing work, less money are spent. circulate. People are spending less money. People are borrowing less money from the financial institution.
The retailers are now in trouble because people spending less.
Yeah, man. Actually.
Hey, boy. Yes, brother Ralston.
Mm-hmm.
So the recession is on.
It's on. Yeah, man.
And we're not hearing anything from the government to say to us that we are in a recession, people. We have to now work together to get us out of this recession.
And this will be our contribution. No.
And this is how we're going to do it. The war between the US and Iran is on again in earnest.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. And that is driving up back the oil prices. So the oil prices are back over $70. The ECLAP, Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, says oil prices this year will close higher than last year. And that is going to have a significant balance of payments, negative impact for countries in Latin America, including Jamaica, that import oil.
Colin,
that yesterday.
Yeah, Colin, do you hear that 14 hotel is closed? Sandra Green, 14 hotel is closed. We're in Jamaica. You hear anything about that, Raleigh?
No, but a lot of hotels were closed after Melissa and so on them work yet. So
maybe it's the same hotels them she talking about. 8 hotels closed
hotels there.
in Mobile. Recently? No, this person is saying 8 hotels in Mobile closed recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, caller, and those of you who are regular listener to Portland Spice TV, Ralston, did I tell with them something a long time?
Yeah, man.
All of you on this channel would have a head start as it relates to the issues that are coming in Jamaica. And the government continues to lie to us.
It's getting very serious, man.
Raleigh, how are we going to reach them? Because we are concerned about the people, you know.
Yeah, but we have to just continue. You know, we had Julian the other day and him pointed to the recession because he was talking about the whole thing with the underperformance of the revenue and the SSC and the increase in insurance rates that are coming and all of those things and the increased vulnerability to natural disasters because of the increase in insurance rates because everything were underinsured or uninsured before these rates were increased.
Yeah, man, just call the while and tell us, say, team insurance go up by 20,000. Pay 80,000 last year, might pay 104,000 this year.
Yeah, man, that's serious thing, man.
No joke.
Not a joke thing. The FSC, even after them raise the fees, them still for them have a deficit of almost 400 million, 180 million to be precise in fiscal 2027.
Bus taxi fare went up between June and July by what, 16%?
16%, yeah, man. But that never do taxi man them to cover the insurance.
That's where I was just going because that increase in insurance has now wiped out
all of that, man. That can't. Man. The gas prices still remain high.
Will the taxi operators be asking for another fare increase in short order, Raleigh?
Well, them say they're going to approach the government and the insurance companies to work out a special package for them because them can't come to the public with that. The public can't afford nothing more.
But how the taxi man them going to operate?
That's it. That's why them say they're going to approach the government to try and develop a special insurance package because the public can't afford no more. Because the public have to pay higher insurance charges. You know, those who have health insurance have to pay more. Those who have life insurance have to pay more. Those who have them property have to pay more to insure too.
And
the key player when an economy is in this position is the government. And the government has to release the economy out of that position. And let me tell you, what John Maynard Keynes was famous for as the greatest economist during the Great Depression, invent the concept that the government have to pull the country out of a recession. That is why you collect people taxes. That is why people vote for a government. It's the government's responsibility to pull the country out of a recession with policies and spending. That is why you have fiscal policy and spending on infrastructure. Those are the things that governments use to pull countries out of a recession. Yeah? So this government have to find a way to start spend money on the country's infrastructure. And we have a whole part of infrastructure to spend on because of the devastation caused by Melissa, because them wasn't spending before. That is why this whole NARA thing is so important.
But have they started the spending yet, Rally? They
They
have
must
not.
start spending. Not they're chatting as usual, man. Still PR and talking, man. All the money they just talking, just still PR and chatting. Nothing happen.
The Prime Minister was in Portland maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, last week, and he was at the Bonebrook Urban Center.
Yeah, man, me hear him, man.
I want to say to the Prime Minister, you have squandered the money. The Bonebrook Urban Center will not increase the economy of Portland. I challenge you, Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The jobs that they are talking about at the urban center are jobs that already exist. They're going to move NHT, go down there. They're going to move NIS, go down there. They want to move the parish council, go down there. All of those jobs are already in Port Antonio.
So government properties, government offices are going to occupy the place.
And I am saying, you see this urban center rally? It is a scam on the people because you know what I understand? The urban centers are not being built by the government. It's a government private sector partnership where government provide the land and private sector provide the finances. And it seems
the government turn around and rent the place then.
Exactly. It seems to me like it's a guarantee money-making thing for these private sector. That government give them the guarantee that we are going to rent spaces in these buildings.
That not help the country, man.
How that will help we? When I've been saying to them, Ralston, what we need for Port Antonio is the East Harbour development so that we can accept the mega liners in Port Antonio.
Of course, we bring foreign exchange and new jobs.
Exactly. Exactly.
So them don't know what them doing, them little youth and have no experience more running the country. The people them just put them in a position and them just feel like them big. Them don't have a clue about what them doing.
I give you a joke about Port Antonio, Ralston. A man built a plaza called the West Harbour. A West Harbour named West Harbour Plaza. The biggest plaza in Port Antonio right now. When it was built, what them name? Casco? What them name? Casco? With a big store there?
Oh, Casco.
Casco. Come to Port Antonio and have a shopping night. Within a year, rally, or 2 years, they had to close down and leave. Because the Portland economy cannot sustain
support them thing there, yeah, man.
No money no in the economy of Portland.
You know how to get demand there, yeah, man.
You understand? So when you build up urban center, that now go generate no money in the economy.
No, man, what money for come
and
from
I've been saying to them from them start planning, I've been saying to them, no. Use the money, develop the East Harbour. When you develop the East Harbour, private sector will develop the attraction because Portland have the most natural attraction as any one parish in Jamaica.
Precisely. And we'll get foreign exchange.
There you go. So if the business people own these attractions, see say you develop East Harbour now and them know say, all right, if I even one ship a week, we are going to get. That now will kickstart the Portland economy. Then you can go build urban center.
The US dollars, mother, that's one, brother.
What is wrong with these people?
I have a clue about economics. That is what is wrong with them.
No, but it's the same thing the Prime Minister do like what the banks them did back in the 90s, you know. Building up edifice.
Yep.
The College of Agriculture in Portland Raleigh. I've been saying to them that upgrade this to a university.
Correct.
Name it.
People like Ronnie Twaits have said that for a long time. So,
name it the College of Agricultural Science. So we do the research, provide the technical support to our farmers, and ensure that we have food security. What is wrong with these people, Ralston, man?
They are clueless, as I tell you, brother. They are clueless because if them run the numbers will tell them what to do. But they are not running the numbers. It's a PR exercise them depend. Here public relations, them don't know nothing about economics.
I don't know how we are going to survive. Somebody's asking me where the NHT coming from to go in at the urban center. The NHT uptown in a Port Antonio already. The only thing is that they're going to move out of one rented building into another rented building.
I'm going to pay a higher rent.
I'm going to pay a higher rent because the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation was asked to pay $10.5 million a month. But me I tell you, me I tell the government this. The Portland Municipal Corporation can't afford that, And if you not ask them for that kind of money at Portland, me there, I want to know. I want to know what I will do and what I can do.
Well, I don't know, brother.
I don't understand how the money are run the country, Rally.
The thing is so clear. Boy, I don't know, brother. You don't know.
It's not difficult. Let me take some calls. Let's take some calls. 1-876-804-7072. That's the number to call. You can call me on WhatsApp and you can call me straight. We have Ralston Iman with us this morning, the top financial analyst anywhere on media. Anywhere on media. The top financial analyst, Ralston Iman, talking to us this morning. If the government short of ideas, Ralston, we gave them some the other day. And we're not averse to give them ideas. Every day Ralston come and show the data. How much you say the government need to start spending on our rally to bring back the country out of this recession?
At least $2 billion every year for the next 4 years. Government and private sector, but them have to put the policies in place to encourage the private sector to help them. So them do some of the spending, and that will be followed by the multiplier sector of private sector spending. But the government has to start and can't sit down and wait for the private sector because the private sector follow what the government can do.
So the government have a lead.
Everywhere in the world, the government lead when it comes on to recession. But every single place in the world. When Obama come out, the same thing in the Daffodil after the 2008 collapse. Same thing happened in the 1930s with John Maynard Keynes and the Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And that's for the world run. That is why you have government. That is why government is the biggest entity. That is why people vote, and that is why government collect people's taxes. Because you're supposed to use people's taxes to drive growth in the economy, not to contract the economy and give a friend them.
Colin Bell, have you ever run for public office? Yes, I have. And we'll do it again if needs be. So, Raleigh, when you have a government that you are saying that they need to spend $2 billion annually for about the next 3 years.
Yeah, I'm going to make it clear because we want to understand. When we said that, we don't mean so the government have spend the $2 billion. The $2 billion are include their spending. They are going to mobilize and create policies that are going to lead to that $2 billion in investments, including their own investments. So some will come from the private sector, some will come from foreign, and some will come from them. But them have to kickstart the thing, because them are the bigger player. And them control money supply to Bank of Jamaica, them control taxes.
And them have something at stake. They are the managers of the economy. Man.
Yeah, them take the praise and them take the blame. That's why people put them there. The people who have put the private sector for run the country, people put them there for run the country.
Never realized that the phone never start up. Oh, yeah.
That is why them can flash and tax their money.
Yes.
Yep. You need to get them up together, man.
Hold on, I need to get this phone sorted. Here we go. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. You're live on Portland Spice TV.
Good morning, Mr. Colin. Good morning, Mr. Ralston.
Morning.
You know, I hear some things that I put down to talk about, but I know I'm not going to get the time. And I have to diverse because I wanted was to ask Mr. Fitz a question, and I put it in the chat, Colin, but you never see it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave that. And as Mr. Colin is there right now to talk about this investment. You hear the JLP talking about, the JLP government talking about investment in Jamaica. Now, when they talk about investment, Mr. Ralston, they must think about the security and protection of people's money in the financial institutions in Jamaica. Foremost, I know of people locally and abroad who have invested their money in SSL and the money was stolen. Okay, we all know about the SSL saga. Telling people to come and invest in the country. Even the banks were taking people's money. And people have lost money there that they have not retrieved. How can the government be coming to telling people to come and invest in Jamaica when them see them one a sticky finger? And they have their cronies and their friends all around in everything, financially and otherwise. How can you have that confidence to invest in Jamaica? Even people who are born in Jamaica travel, you make some money in the diaspora and you say, okay, I want to go back home and, settle down and so on. You can't trust them. So that must be addressed first and foremost. Put the necessary whatever they need to do to protect people's money before they talk about investment, because them same one of the same damn culprits that will thief and has been stolen people money. Me now hold back, I'm not holding back, I'm talking it. So that must be fixed first, Mr. Ralston. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, man, that's a problem. Their own finance minister, Nigel Clark, had stressed that the SSL and agreed with us that the SSL thing would have done serious damage to Jamaica's international reputation, and that is why he said that he wouldn't leave any stone unturned in order to deal with that problem. The fact of the matter is that he left every stone unturned, and that is still a stain on Jamaica's reputation internationally and affecting our ability to mobilize investments. Yes, so they have that big problem hanging over the country that they have created and not solved. Yeah.
Mr. Ralston? All right, let me just finish and hang up and listen to you because I can hardly hear. It's not coming over to me. Just let me say this lastly and then I hang up. Okay?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Yeah, man.
No. The Prime Minister of himself, he didn't even address the matter. The important issues in Jamaica that are, corrupt, people are concerned about it, calling on him to address the issues. He has not. Look at the hanky-panky that go on with SSL. Look at that. And playing as if these things are not real. They must do better. Something has to happen. I tell the people, not listen to them. No invest, no money in Jamaica.
No,
unless your money, Mr. Collin, is the truth.
I agree with you
unless
upon
your
that.
money is secured. Unless your money is secured, people. Mr. Collin, it is easy for you to put the money in those financial institutions.
No,
Look
well,
at the bank
that's not
around,
the only way. Hold on.
through.
That's not the only way you can invest.
Mr. Collin, and let me answer and let me hang up and listen to you guys. Look how easy it is to put the money into these institutions there, and how hard it is for you to get back your money, and all that it takes for you, and the long time, and the this and the that. The two people from Canada that went down to Jamaica and get arrested, I'm giving you an example, and during the weekend, they were given bail. I know you're not hearing nothing, they're going to drag that thing out until nothing becomes of it. Mr. Collin, I will listen to you, but people wanna not do it, not invest no money down there. No. Anything they have can turn down there. And when they go down there, better down there. Me not do no more. Because me now go work harder and give rich people my money. I will listen to you now, Mr. Collins.
Raleigh, where you said, respond to that, Raleigh.
Yeah, Walmart said Jamaica's financial system is generally sound. Now, I said the SSL is an outlier that the government allowed through corruption to damage Jamaica's reputation internationally. Yeah? And as long as them don't solve that problem, that is going to be a drag on investor confidence. But the system, generally speaking, in terms of the broader financial system, is sound. Now, you can put your money in the broader financial system without having any problem. Additionally, if you are investing in Jamaica, you can invest in energy, you can invest in agriculture, you can invest in the real sectors. And if you want to invest in the financial sector, the broader financial sector is sound. The SSL corruption is a big problem, but that must stop people from investing in the country. But certainly, it has a negative impact on the country's image because of the way it was handled, and that is going to be a stain on the government's reputation for a very long time.
When the government mops up liquidity, when the Bank of Jamaica mops up liquidity, Ralston, hold on for my caller. Is it that people overseas can also invest in that?
Everybody, yeah, man.
Definitely. What percentage of the Jamaican population is referred to as the middle class now, Ralston? Where is that?
Well, boy, basically, the middle class has been wiped out now. Middle class is
Totally.
very small. Almost, man. Almost.
Give me a percentage, man. Come on.
No, I don't have a number on that. We'll have to check that. But the middle class basically wiped out, right?
Well, we'll ask you to check it for us because
yeah, man, we'll check that.
If a country don't have a middle class, then
you know, I reach nowhere.
Because that means what you have is just rich and poor.
Yeah, man. The middle class is now poor, and the poor is now destitute. So we have to rebuild the middle class.
About 6 years ago, I was warning people that the middle class is going to become the working poor.
Yeah, man. And the poor, like the teachers and them people who are supposed to be middle class and the doctors and them things, they were the working poor.
Yes.
And the poor now has now become destitute. Yes. So we need to rebuild the middle class. But you can't rebuild the middle class unless you grow the economy and create solid jobs, technological jobs, and then jobs there. So you have to invest in the real sector. No investments now take place in Jamaica's real and scientific sector. Nothing now go on. You follow me? And that is the problem. And that is why we have to be importing so many things. We have to import oil. We have to import food. You know, we have to import the things that we need for production rather than using research and development and produce them in Jamaica.
Blessings. Caller, good morning. Yeah. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Want to like up the video for me now, please. Give the video a thumbs up for me. Thank you very much. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Colin.
Morning, sir.
And good morning, Ralston.
Yes, sir. Morning.
Yes, good morning to all the brothers and sisters listening. So, Ralston, in 2021, Capri had said that we were losing 5% of our GDP to corruption. Am I correct?
Yeah, man. And it is more than that. Between corruption and criminality, we're up to about 78%. Because the corruption and the criminality are twin brothers.
So that would be around 200 plus billion Jamaican dollars annually?
Yeah, man. Well, GDP right now is programmed at 3.8 trillion. So up in that region, $200 billion annually, yeah. So I talk about the murders and all of that, and the fear of murders will prevent people from expanding their business. Yeah? We talk about the proprietors who get killed and them families, them not going out of business. We talk about the corruption with the politicians, them where get people scared. We talk about people who can't get them things certified and all of them things. All them things that affect investments in the country. So those are not creative like how people check them. As serious matters those, yeah?
Okay. So that amount of money.
Caller, you're breaking up, caller.
You're
breaking up. Go ahead. Go again.
Sorry. Yeah, they can't find money.
No.
Because of this.
We're not hearing all that you said a while ago. Go again. I don't know if you moved from where you were, but the call now sounds so bossy again. It sounded good when you just started. Let's try again. Yes, caller, let's try again. Take off the phone off of the car, man. Take the phone from off of the car. Don't take off the Bluetooth.
Right.
And come straight to the phone.
Okay. You hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm saying that with that loss through corruption, they would not have the ability to finance capital budget. not even the ability to finance the conflict. Therefore, they have to be seeking these monies, these gap-filling funds from the people. I've explained things like the heavy emphasis on fees and charges, such as the one imposed on the traffic community. So we are in a state of forward movement because we just don't have enough to even think dictionary.
All right, caller. The caller go on. Rally, you hear what him say? The last part?
Yeah, the basic point of the caller make is that if we were not so corrupt, if we cut corruption, we have more money to spend on the vital things like the capital budget and hospitals and all of the basic social services. Is right?
Yeah. And the fact
we don't have
that
to pressure the people them so much, yeah.
And then to add to that, Rally, the overpayment on debt stock that the government was undertaking for quite some time.
Yeah, man. Wasteful exercise. Yeah, man. Scholar is right. We have more money to do everything, and we don't have to pressure the people them so much.
Anything else, caller? All right, look like we lost him. Junior, morning.
Morning, Colin.
Hold on the Junior, because somebody has me now read the message them, but I can't read all the message all the time, you know. Sometimes I still have to focus on what it is that we are talking about. We need a revolt. Nothing will change until the thieving government is overthrown. Morning, Colin and Raleigh. In Canada, there's a dream right now to buy a house or to buy a house in Jamaica. That's good. You should. Look at the independence of the middle class and look who own these same type of business today. Don't understand that. Jamaica needs a new election now. Election now. Displacement for Jamaica only. Displacement for Jamaicans. Only rich people from overseas will enjoy Jamaica. Go ahead, Junior.
Ralston, if you make a numeric value for corruption, how are you going to calculate the multiplier?
Repeat that.
If you have a numeric value on corruption, is it your multiplier to it?
Yeah, man.
You can calculate that.
So when you use the multiplier with that, you have a multiplier like 1.3. So I'm telling you how much aggregate demand that causes for lose. So I look at 266 billion times 1.3. 245 billion in aggregate demand will lose because of it.
You hear that, Junior?
I'm merely here, but let me go on the year after. But one thing I heard the Prime Minister talking about him building back block by block. You heard it?
Yeah, but I tell them do that little youth. I don't start them do that. Them really just have some little youth to get some big position where we above them head and them just attack because the population really understand what I want. And the people them who understand what I want, it's either the thing or them trade. But I don't stay talking. You look on the numbers, you get a different result from the talking. Enough people who released the net foreign investments in Jamaica last year was only 263 million the way them talk. You have to have the numbers to know so when them attack a beer from the system attack.
But you're right. Look on the whole issue. Him over Portland building plaza and the people in the Western Jamaica have no house. And him talking about him building block by block. As far as me concerned, Andrew is have a delusion, He believes him is a legend, In his own mind, Andrew believes he's a legend,
Right. That's the point I make here. And when you look at his numbers, you see, say, he never a clue about what he do. And because the people of Jamaica shallow, and the people who supposed to know better, either in the thing and eat them food or them trade, it make him look good. Yeah. But you're right. You know, you're under this illusion that he is a legend and him clueless. If you evaluate the thing by numbers.
Legend.
Yeah.
In his own mind.
That is what somebody just said in the chat room. Legend in his own mind.
So, let me look on the economy for 1 minute.
Yes.
The reason why the governments will never follow what Rastan said. Rastan has been saying the same thing over and over like a scratch record. The government have no interest in growing the economy. If the economy grow, poor people going to benefit. The government have no interest in the poor black masses of this country benefiting. Let me tell you how these people believe. You have a set of Jamaicans who live in a certain area. They never get damaged by the hurricane. Them drive a Ferrari, them have a Maserati, them have a Mercedes-Benz, and them have a BMW, and them have a Porsche, right? And them live a certain lifestyle. I can tell you, I went somewhere recently and I see one of Jamaican main civil servants playing with a toy of value $250,000 US. That was the man toy for him and his son. That's a lifestyle these people live.
What is that toy? A yacht?
No, it's a bike.
A bike?
A 3-wheel bike.
For how much?
With 3 wheels. With 3 wheels.
How much for it?
$250,000 US.
What? For a bike, really?
Wow, that sounds very pricey.
That's a bike?
Yeah, man, that sounds very pricey, brother. I want to make out a goal.
What?
It's a carbon fiber on there.
Yes.
You know, that carbon fiber not cheap.
No, man, it's light and strong.
Thank you. The fact, come here, try to show you. Remember, you know, there are people who go to Jackson Memorial when them sick, you know. And them go to straight wing when them sick. These are the people that believe everything is all right, you know.
Yes, yes.
So when you work for these people and you hear your boss say everything all right, there are some people who believe in them. Because the whole slave mentality is if the boss sick, we're sick too. People are most talk about the money what them boss have and the big house where them boss are living in.
Yes, yes.
And they live nowhere. So these are the people that believe that the government is doing well. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. The government is not going to follow the policies that you are putting out because they have no interest in the poor.
True.
No interest. So no care what you do or what you say. They're not going to follow you because there's a set of people who convince them that they're doing well.
All right, Uncle Junior, give thanks.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, man.
1-876-804-7072. This is the Colin Bell Show. We're live on Portland Spice TV. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, like, and share the channel. If you have not yet given us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs up on the channel right now. Caller, good evening. Morning, welcome. Hold on, caller. Go ahead, Raleigh.
One thing of being a legend is to know yourself and know where you stand for, stand for where you stand for.
Yes. Yes, man.
So even if them idiot people that tell you say you do good, as a legend, you must know say I rubbish you do.
Yeah, man. I know that the people are suffering.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Morning, caller. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Ralston Iman, the top financial analyst on media, is with us this morning. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Colin.
Morning.
Okay. It's very instrumental that you were talking about the middle class right now.
Yes.
that been wiped down. I just like the saying to we comrades. We have some vloggers out there where we must listen to. You know, I listened to 119 with it, and the brother has said PJ Party is not the worst prime minister ever governed Jamaica and PJ and PNP never rule again till next million a year. And because he mashed up the country. And they see now what Andrew Wallace is doing. Can it be compared with what PJ did?
PJ a star, man. PJ a legend.
Fine. So the man will come across as a legitimate person. It is so sad.
Tell 119 to come call with them the argument there. You see how some people can talk to themselves, you know, and talk some rubbish when they talk to themselves, or when they talk to some little minions, they talk all kind of crap. But them argument can't take no challenge, brother.
Mr. Bridget, it hurt me. It hurt me if you know that him, you know, what he said then. And look what Andrew Wallace is doing now to our country, our economy, our living standard.
A PGA parties make 119 have access to the internet when they can attack the rubbish, you know.
Fine, so brethren, you know what we do? We block that at the same time. And we need to be doing things like that.
Yeah, man.
And you know, this morning you were talking to Comey Jackson. I mean, I tell you, brethren, and not him alone, if the people them not get up and stand up and do something with Paul Bogle, they do. They do.
Yeah, man.
If they not do a Paul Bogle, they do. We do. That's all I say, because there's so much things to say. And when you say it already, people say it already, and the labor them just a door. I got you.
All right, brother. Respect.
Something have to be done.
All right.
If you want, we put them for in our good, beautiful country. Listen,
yeah, man. If we want to secure our future in Jamaica, something must be done. Yeah.
Look here. I am abroad, you know. I am abroad, and when we meet some people I say I'm from Jamaica. They say, "What you doing here?" And you're paradise down there.
You understand?
You have to lock up my mouth. Me have to lock up my mouth and lock up my mouth and you know, because everybody want to live in Jamaica, and who have it now and mash it up, brethren.
Bless up, brother. One love.
We need a nanny, a Sam Sharp, and some other man there in Jamaica right now.
Little more.
Listen to me, 1 minute now. All right. Later,
1-876-804-7072. Good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We're live on Portland Spice TV. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Colin.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, pleasure talking to you again.
Blessings.
Yeah, blessings always, my brother. And continue the hard work that you are doing, and we deeply appreciate it, you know?
Yeah, man.
And we can't, and like I'm telling you,
your background nice, you know.
All right, we move from the young generation. You know?
Yeah, man, background very noisy. Yeah.
All right, I move from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, concerning the money held in escrow for Venezuela.
Yeah.
Find out from Ralston, when was it, and how much is the amount?
All right, cool.
And no, before you go, on the Venezuelan issue, there are a lot of persons that I know who got burned when they invested in some bonds from Venezuela.
Yeah, you tell about that the other day. I asked Ralston about it, but your background kind of noisy, so that's why I run left here. Yeah?
All right. All the best. And
yeah, man. Raleigh? The money with Jamaica have in Venezuela, how much is it?
$1 million US.
We have $1 million. You realize, Raleigh, you hear the news that Venezuela is asking for all the countries who have freezing money for them to let it go so that them can get their money.
And Jamaica not forget the man them money, man.
Yeah, man. And you tweet that talk about the other day, so Jamaica have to send the man them money, go give them now.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about come in and talk about them send clothes and food. Give the man them money.
Give the man them $7 million. So
man.
right now we are calling upon them 1 million, sorry. We're calling on the government of Jamaica to release the 1 million US dollars that they have for Venezuela in this time of need in Venezuela. So the team here at Portland Spice TV, Ralston Hyman, Colin Bell, we're calling on Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Kamina Johnson-Smith, and Honorable Favour Williams to release Venezuela 1 million US dollars. Senate go give them now. That we did that's the money they gave us to develop Petrojam, right?
Yeah, man, that's sign of solidarity. Interest supposed to grow upon it, so because it's in an escrow. So send whatever the team go give the money, was a sign of solidarity.
That is what we are saying here at Portland Spice TV as a sign of solidarity. Send Venezuela 1 million US plus the interest, go give them forthwith. Conrad O'Brien, morning.
Hi, morning, Colin. How you doing?
How
you
brother?
doing? Your listeners and viewers. Well, first thing to begin with, Colin, for the Holness government to do this, they first will have to have a heart. We see what is happening even in our own country here in Jamaica, Western Jamaica. And so we saw the lady there in a rocking chair with tarpaulin over her head, and that don't move Andrew Holness and his government. So I don't know. I think it's a call that is just basically going to go into the thin air, but it's the right call to make for the people of Jamaica, of Venezuela, to be given their 1 billion US dollars plus
1 million, 1 million
plus 1 million, right? One what? What? What is it?
1 million US.
Yes. They're 1 million US, right? Plus interest, because they could do with it. They could do with every cent based on what happened to them just now. Colin, Raleigh, you know, I come here week after week and on my own radio show and on my channel. I talk about this whole business. I put forward the proposal. I remember even having one of the president from the taxi association. Well, not one, several. Newman, Conroy, Nesbitt, and a number of them. You know, Finnegan and so on. And I made the proposal to them. I said, I'm giving you guys this free of cost. Stop looking at just price increase because the people of Jamaica are going through a very, very tough period. Your constituency, your customer, they cannot afford increase in fares. So what you should do is use your skill and approach the government to put some mechanism in place so you can benefit from some special condition. Therefore, that would basically lower your operating costs, because that is in the gift of the government so to do. I go on further. Communication is a skill. That's why we go to school and we learn it and we practice it and we own it, right? We own that skill. The truth is that they have to find a creative way to make the public recognize that, listen, we are protesting, or they're going to be protesting. The protest is not against the people. It's not that they don't want to be out there carrying the people, but the protest is against the Jamaican government to put things in place so they can benefit from. Before I go, let's enumerate a couple of them, Raleigh. The government can basically look at a special GCT rate for insurance.
Hold on. Let me just take the time to say thanks to the people at Mastercat Radio and Zeno FM. We're going to be leaving them at this time. We want to thank them for listening. And remember that we come on every Saturday morning from 9 until 11 on Mastercat Radio at Zeno FM. Thanks very much, everybody. Continue, Obi.
Yeah, man. So I'd like just to enumerate three areas, more than three, but just to mention three that the government can basically give a reprieve on. The lowering of GCT on insurance for passenger carrier vehicle. All of us could do with it, but since we're talking about that particular grouping, they could lower the GCT that they paid. They could also look at removing the tax there from the pump for taxi operators, public passenger operators, right? And they could also look at a window of creating a special GCT window for spare parts. So those are 3 areas that they could readily look at. As I said, there are more, but those 3 would basically be able to
Obi?
To cushion themselves. Therefore, they would not have to come to the government for increase.
Those are plausible. All those are plausible idea, Obi. But all those are plausible idea. But really, will the government be willing to give up anything?
That's the point I'm making to you, and that is why I'm telling you that we need a change in macroeconomic policies. And we need more people to be calling for this change in macroeconomic policies. And we need more of our sector leaders to understand macroeconomic policies and how macroeconomic policies affect the country. Because this government, all the things that Obi said, this government is going to argue that they need all the revenues that they can get in order to keep the fiscal accounts and debt to GDP target on track. That is why they are taking money from FSC and all of those places and creating all of these problems. So rather than pursue what we call counter-cyclical fiscal policy, in other words, moving the opposite direction of the recession, this government is moving in the same direction of the recession, which these same foolish policies create, and making the recession worse. So rather than the government giving, what the government is doing is taking.
All right. We need to find a way to challenge this government rally, because Obi, they will not come to answer any questions except on nationwide. That's the only place they will go. Or GIS. They will go GIS where they give them the question.
That is why more people need to understand.
Hold on, Obi. Go ahead, Raleigh.
That is why more people need to understand the policies that they are pursuing so that you can corner them. Yeah? So all those sector leaders, the transport people, the private sector people, they need to understand the policies rather than many of them endorsing the policies that are damaging the economy. They need to counter those policies because the policies are damaging the economy. It is those policies that got us where we were, and then Melissa just come and clean up everything. And then them still are going in the same direction. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah. Somebody's asking you, Obi, when you remove these taxes, what would replace them? What would replace
somebody
the gap?
Follow the line that them carry. You're somebody, all right.
Yeah, man, Paul Wilson.
All right.
Go ahead. Sorry?
No, Paul Wilson is saying when you remove these taxes, what would replace the gap it will create?
All right. That is where the government is going to argue precisely. I see. Is it that him is a supporter of them and or them them convincing that that is the only direction to go?
Or him not understand. Because one of the things, Paul, that we are pushing here is that the government need to start driving production. Yeah? The government need to start growing the economy, Paul, to get more taxes. The government is shrinking the economy while trying to collect more taxes on a shrinking economy.
Precisely. And then watch it now. Rather than change the direction to collect more taxes, they are going in the same direction and then still want to collect more taxes.
Yeah.
You follow me? I said, yeah? So then create a vicious down cycle. That's why I'm telling you. You see, before me even finish telling you, somebody come with it, because that is how them have a whole for people are arguing, them supporters and are the people who don't understand. Nothing more macroeconomic. Yeah?
Yeah, Obi. Go ahead, Obi.
You know, Colin or Raleigh, I'm happy that Raleigh basically shed some light on that, because obviously Paul is either just being provocative, or he wants to know, or he's not being a listener, because we have put forward these things ad nauseum right here on this program and elsewhere as to ways and means that the government can put things out to basically increase the pie, which would in turn bring much more revenue. I want to just close by saying two things. I don't know if you guys remember when Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, the most honorable, was Prime Minister of Jamaica, and she was badgered almost every day by member of in mainstream media. You know, that she should basically have a press conference with the media generally. Journalists come from all areas, come to ask questions, and they badger her, they literally push microphone in her face and so on. I am asking the question, when have this Prime Minister basically had that kind of press conference? And I'm using this platform as I would be using other platform on Monday to call on Prime Minister Holness to have, and the government to have a press conference with all the media houses, so very, very pointed question can be asked, not to select a one friendly journalist or one friendly media house to do this work, but open it so everybody can basically wade in and ask those questions. I'll close with this, where I started, with the taxi operator.
Yes.
The taxi operators are public passenger vehicle operators, bus are included. They have what I would describe as the strongest power to basically get the government to the table, to get these things that they're asking for. But there need to be a unity of purpose to get this going. They can literally, single-handedly force the government to look at them in a serious way. So, i.e., they can get a reprieve at the pump, they can get a reduction in GCT from insurance, and they can get a special window for spare parts for their vehicles. And those three things, in my opinion, would basically give them some leverage so they don't have to come to the general public for another increase that we cannot afford at this time.
All right, brother. One love. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We're live on Portland Spice TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Give away a thumbs up right now. We have the top financial analysts anywhere on media. Ralston Hyman is with us this morning. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Colin.
Morning.
And Uncle Ralston.
Morning.
And to all the others. You know what I call about? And I know I'm in full support of the Colin Bell and Portland Spice TV show. And I'm in absolutely 100% in uniformity with Uncle Ralston's suggestions, his solutions. So today I'm calling about the Traffic Act. Chief Justice Brian Sykes came on a platform and he noted the 1938 and the 2018 Road Traffic Act statutes, whatever in there. And he stated that the court has no loophole because there is no changes, legislation, statutory-wise, anything to change those two. And he gives 2023 as the stop for the 1938 Traffic Act, and then the new one, 2018, to current. My take for taxi drivers who in every parishes have a taxi association, what do they pay these fees for? I would suggest that these taxi associations or taxi people get a copy of both Road Traffic Act and find and note their responsibilities and duties and what they are supposed to be for them and for what they're supposed to do. And for the taxi association to make sure that they have a legal representative and workshops for these taxi drivers to teach them what their rights and obligations are under these acts. That when they go into court or when the police stop them, they can initialize what they need to do and stop
arguing with the traffic police or whatever. Do for them due diligence, for example, to record the conversation, take photograph of the position of their vehicle, etc., etc. For people who are public motorists, it is their responsibility too to have these acts, to know them back and front, that when they are out on the road driving responsible, and you know, it's not every traffic police are crook, but you know the percentage of them, they have that in place, that they don't back up the court, they get their justice moving forward, because Jamaicans are not in the backward. They are woken up, they are ready to go, they are forward-thinking people. Even the little pick-me can play a video game better than me, who is in my age, because I don't know if he play the pick-me just born, can play a video game. So they are not stupid. They are very computer savvy, they are smart, they ask intelligent questions. So when Uncle Ralston is on this platform, day upon day, when it's upon its opportunity, and he's teaching us to benefit ourselves, we need to listen. And we need to utilize and implement these our mindset, to counteract this government that is all hell-bent on destroying Jamaica as a people, as a country. I'm going back to class.
Blessings. Raleigh, anything on that?
Yeah, because the same thing that the lady on the caller is saying about the taxi driver and the associations educating their people. It's the same thing I'm saying, that the SBAJ, the PSOJ, the trade union movement, the JCC, they must understand macroeconomic policies, the policies that the government is pursuing, the IMF agreements, yes. The budget, so that they can counter when the man them attract them foolishness and mash up the place and others I agree with everything with the man them do. Because right now, what the reason that we reach far reaching, what the man they agree with the foolishness with the man them did do up until Melissa.
Yeah.
And then still really, agree with the foolishness, yeah.
Paying more than they needed to pay on the debt. The local debt stock, wouldn't local people, local bankers benefit from some of that?
Well, that's what our government has been running the country on behalf of the financial sector. Look how much time we said anything there.
But I can remember you were saying that some of this was a conflict of interest because people in the government who were coming from the banking sector, for example, former Finance Minister Nigel Clark.
And even the regulator, the BOJ, all of the man them have them links up with bank. The man them who run the country, that run the country on behalf of the bank. That's why they slam down Fitzjackson claim to a man.
So could it be, Ralston, that this was deliberate for them friends to make money and maybe kickback were coming?
What can I hear Lucia say that? Because we couldn't understand some of the policies that them are pursuing, because they just not make no sense in our economics. And that is why we said the man them who say them independent. And why people cost the university at the West Indies South. Because they're supposed to understand economics independently. So they're supposed to come out and say, what do I do? Yep.
Finally, this morning, Raleigh, explain to the listeners and the viewers that overpaying on the debt, what was happening, how much they were overpaying the debt by. And
almost 100 billion more than them supposed to pay. Well, I think we'll call it primary surplus. But the primary surplus is just a big word. I'm going to bring it down to a man. It's how much higher PA used to pay your debt. So the primary surplus is how much of the revenues that the government used to pay the debt. If you have to pay more upon the primary surplus, it means you have less to spend on education and everything. So what Nigel Clark used to do is to pay more than necessary upon the primary surplus and then tell us that him can't spend upon capital budget. It is what is needed to grow and build the economy because of procurement difficulties, while he was the man who was in charge of procurement. So how come you are the greatest finance minister and you in charge of procurement and you can't fix it up for so many years? So you bring it down to an individual. You get more money and you tell your wife, you give the banker more of the money, but you now fix the house and more pick your bond. Yeah?
But really?
Yeah? I still have the,
And by paying more than they needed to have paid on the debt, the real debt stock wasn't going down either.
No, because I'm a borrow at the same time.
How that makes sense?
it can't make sense, and that's why I tell you, say, well, go back to the whole thing.
So hold on, Raleigh. So like a debt payment due, let's say at the end of July, and we were supposed to pay like $35 billion. The government would have go ahead and pay $50 billion.
Right, I have to put it in the technical terms for them use. If the man himself run a primary surplus at 5%, you run one at 7%. All of that have value and money. So we say the primary surplus is 7%. Suppose the man himself. Pay a primary surplus at 5% of GDP. So GDP is $100, you pay $5. Right? Instead of you pay $5, you pay $7.
You pay $7.
That's
and then at the same time, you borrow more money from somewhere else. So your real debt stock not going down. The debt stock is increasing.
Precisely. And while you do that, remember the most important part. You now spend nothing to grow the economy so that you're in a better position to pay the debt.
So every year when you say you're going to spend 90 billion per infrastructure, you only spend 60.
Yeah, man.
And instead of building out our housing stock over the last 10 years, you know, really build much houses so the whole of the house, them don't always get blown down in a hurricane.
You make the place a rotten down, the house, them are rotten down, the bridge, them are rotten down, the road are rotten down. Why did the Prime Minister say it cost $7 trillion to fix the road them? Because I allow them to rotten down over all of this period of time.
And then the Prime Minister come down at Tri-Bridge and tell we say if the bridge was built 4 years earlier, it would have cost with $70 million less while he was the Prime Minister.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you really believe that them man are sensible? So you spend more to pay your debt, and then you left the bridge and make it rotten down, and then now you come and say, by the way, if they do it and then time it to the cashless, you know. You really believe them man are seeing nine of them right then?
The man threw himself under the bus and nobody now pick it up. Threw himself under the bus and nobody no pick it up.
And that's why they have very little respect to the Jamaican people, because they must say, oh, come the people that pick up them things and still vote for you and still back where how do all of them stupid things.
Yeah, and come out and say all them kind of rubbish here. How these people really...
That's why they don't have respect to the people. Them just have the people who are some big fool card. Them themselves look for it and say, how do they think they can get out of it? So kind of the more...
So even them can't believe the things them when they get away with. My God.
That's why I just keep on doing more and more. Yeah. That must have people are really stupid, man. Just give them some rum and move to drink and weed to smoke and keep some party and them alright. Them not work it out already. Them not work it out already.
My God.
Yeah, brother.
Raleigh?
True. Yep.
Anything you want to add finally before we wrap up this morning?
Yeah, I want to say, we're called upon all the sector leaders.
Yes.
Yeah. Every sector leader try understand the economy and try understand what is going on. Look at the numbers. The numbers are available at Stati. The numbers are available at BOJ. If you don't understand them, get somebody who understands them to explain to you. Listen to our Holy Portions from Portland Spice TV. If you hate the host of Portland Spice TV, get somebody who understands and check the BOJ and Stati. And you get all of the information from the economy. And you will see everything is going in the wrong direction. And pressure the government to change the direction and hold them accountable, because Jamaica, you save yourself, because it's a plan to live long. People live longer than first time now. Yeah, so you have to make sure the economy is run properly. And if your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. Yeah.
You're the man, Raleigh. You're the man.
Would have cost us at least 30% less if we had built this bridge 4 years ago.
This is the man who around the government there.
I want you to think on that.
and people are tell we said this year man are the best prime minister. Eh? No, wanna listen to the man again. You're the man say, you know. At this year man I did the prime minister 10 years ago, you know, not just 4. This man has been the prime minister for the last 10 years. And you're the man.
It would have cost us at least 30% less if we had built this bridge 4 years ago.
Let that sink in.
Colin, and that's still not correct, you know, because all of the farmers them on the Tri-Bridge, and I try.
No, him say at least, you know. Him say at least. So what he's saying, we could have saved more. At least.
The multiplier effect of all of the hardship for the people have to go
yes,
through.
Him not calculate that. Him only calculate the physical cost to build the bridge.
You get the point, man.
Jesus.
Monday, Jamaican people something wrong with them,
Really?
Yeah.
Monday, bless up.
Yeah, brother.
One
Blessed
love.
love.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Yeah, man.
Listeners and viewers, Ralston I, man, the top financial analyst anywhere on media. Anywhere on media. The top financial analyst. Spending time with us on a regular basis. Every Monday evening from 5 to 7. Saturday mornings, 9 to 11. We don't carry on Ralston on a Sunday morning. Sunday morning is your morning. We take all your calls. I want to say thanks to everybody for joining us this morning. Thanks to Fitz Jackson for spending time with us this morning, answering our questions. If you missed it, go back and watch the first part of the program. He joined us at 9 o'clock sharp. Fitz Jackson talking to us on the issue with Portmore and, of course, the TCN Third Country Nationals coming to Jamaica. My name is Colin Bell. This has been the Colin Bell Show for yet another Saturday morning, the 12th day of July. And we invite any one of the GLP bloggers and vloggers, to come challenge us any day. Because behind our backs, you all talk about us, call Ralston name, call me name, come challenge with numbers. We don't have no box with 90 people that talk to you. Give us a call on 1-876-804-7072 and challenge with argument every time, anytime. We are ready. Blessed, my people. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord Jesus Christ lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again tomorrow morning at 9, right here on Portland Spice TV for Talk Jamaica. Peace be with you, my people. One love. Culture, Louis, take us out.
Tell them to try pre-wee, big up Portland Spice TV. Tell them to try pre-wee, big up Portland Spice TV. Remember to subscribe. See, Portland Spice TV, Louis Culture say it once and we say it again. Portland Spice TV. We are going to hold them and pop it off. Bogus match where we rip off. Subscribe, share,